What's going on, guys? Another full Black Desert video. I'm just gonna sit back and gather for a while. We've got the XP event still going on. So I'm just gonna keep gathering until I run out of energy. And right off the bat, a shark crystal. Some of these aren't giving me things together that should be. I probably shouldn't be recording this straight off of playing games in my free time. I was playing League of Legends. I shouldn't have done it. I don't know why. I don't know why I do it. I don't know. It's one of those games where I've played it on and off for a very long time. And it's familiar, and I really liked the game before. And they just keep doing things to just mess it up more and more and more and more. And I'm coming off of a 3-game loss, which instead of making progress, caused me to get demoted back down to where I was yet again. And I have bad games and I have bad days just like anybody else, but you would think this latest one, I think it's the last straw. I think I'm just done. It's one of those things where when you go 14-6 with a huge amount of assists as well, and you still lose a game because you got one guy that has 15 deaths, and then the team, all they literally have to do is just, if they want free LP, is follow you. All they got to do is follow along and pretty much right click the enemies. Because when I was that fed, I one-shot them. I pretty much one-shot everybody except for their Nocturne because he has a shield. So, it's one of those things where League needs a severe rework, and I don't think that the ranked system should be dependent on 4 other players because it's a very bad system. I know there's an argument that's going to be like, oh, well, if you're good enough, you'll climb anyway. I have a fucking 50-something% win rate. It's higher than 50%. I had 23 wins more than I had losses. I was gaining less LP than I was losing when I lost. Something isn't right about that. And you'd think, oh, your MMR is bad. Well, how's my MMR bad whenever I literally had 23 more wins than I had losses? It doesn't make sense to me. So it's just, it's pretty, I don't know, it rubs me the wrong way. Not happy at all about it. But that's enough ranting about useless League of Legends stuff. The only reason I wanted to rank up higher anyway is so that my videos that I recorded every once in a while of League would look better or do better, because I'd be a higher rank. It would have more merit. Because if you're not Master or Challenger, you're not taken seriously. Well, it's hard for me to climb because I seem to have very bad luck. And it could be the champion too, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty good with the champion. That was laggy. I'm pretty good with the champion that I play, but having almost 700,000 mastery on him, you'd think that I would be, but the only problem with Cho'Gath, the one that I like to play, he's clunky, and I don't play him as a tank. I like to play him as a mage. He's a tank mage. He's an HP tank mage. And if you can kite and you can put him in the right position and you can get the jump on people, you will literally one-shot them. Not with the ult, just sometimes with the Q, you just one-shot them. It's high risk, high reward. There's a reason he's slow and clunky. It's because he does a ton of damage when he's built full AP. But getting a bunch of ADHD little crackhead type people all on the same mission it's hard. And I have the mentality that I'm not going to be messed with. You know, it's when you're down there running up past your tower and you're feeding, I'm going to tell you to stop it. And if you tell me otherwise, well, things aren't going to go well. That's just how it is. But enough ranting about stupid games. We're going to play Black Desert. I don't let my temper show very often, but I do have a severe one. That's why I got to get away from League. It brings out that Viking background, that Scottish Welsh fury that shouldn't be brought out. It's not good for me. It's not good for anyone. Not doing too bad. I picked up right where I left off. I had 9% when we started this. I hadn't had a chance to play since the last time I did this. Well, I did, but I didn't have a chance to play where I could just come and gather for a while. So that's a terrible camera angle. Okay, there's another one. But on better news, the weather here in the middle of the USA it's very nice right now. Today was a very nice day. Of course, this is very, very early. By today, I meant Sunday. It's very, very early Monday morning hours right now. But weather was nice. We got a lot done outside. It's always fun when it's always good whenever you can get the dogs out, let them run. They're nice and quiet now. Fiance has she's older. The dog is older, but she's part pit bull. I think she's also got some shepherd in her because she doesn't fully look pit bull. She has different years. And then we got a second little dog, and he's a Pitnese. He's about 40% pit bull, but he's about 25-30% Great Pyrenees. And he's still a pup. He's pretty goofy right now. Let's see if there's any down here. I know there was a few. He's pretty goofy. He looks exactly like Scooby-Doo. He's completely tan, and he just flops all over the place. He's crazy. But he's a pretty big boy. The last time we weighed him, he was almost 70 pounds, and that was months ago. He's grown so much since then. He's probably closer to 90. Maybe only 85. So we took them out on the farm, or at least I did. Got a few things done. Let them run all over. I would ramble about Black Desert stuff, but I want to save some of those things for videos. I've been doing these short BDO tips videos, and they seem to be doing a whole lot pretty good. They're easier to make because I'm not doing full guides. I'm just documenting a handful of tips on certain subjects that I use to better my character. So that works pretty good. But that kind of limits my video topics, because if I'm saving them for videos, and then I won't talk about them in this one or any of the other longer videos, so I have to ramble about other stuff. I've never been very good at small talk, so. When we got back from the farm, I'm still trying to get things sorted out there so that we can settle in this coming weekend. But when we got back, I finally fired up for the first time this year. I had back in November, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was November. I had COVID for like a few days, a week there, and that was the last time that I started up the race car. I was off. That was before I quit working where I was working at, and I was off for the week because it wouldn't let me come in. So I was wandering around in the house and stepped out to the yard, and I'd fired it up. Well, I'd let it set ever since then because the weather got bad. It's been snowing here in the Midwest on and off since then, and it got really cold, and I don't run it when it gets cold. But I fired it up today. Fired up first crank, which, if you're a car guy, that's pretty good. You know, that's always good when your toys start up. You don't have to work on them. But anybody who watches is curious. I call it the race car. We rebuilt it, but it's an older Trans Am. It's a 1994. We went through it, and I replaced a bunch of stuff on it. I swapped motors out, added some stuff to it just to make it a little faster. I mean, it's not gonna win any awards by any means, but it's pretty fun to daily drive. It's a 6-speed standard. There aren't very many of those left. Especially that year, the 94s, the black on black hard tops. Don't have to deal with the leaky T-tops in there. But it still has a ways to go. It needs some more paint. The front half has been repainted, but we didn't do the back half yet. With the way things are going up in price, I may not be doing it either. I can't even really afford to drive it now that fuel has gone crazy. I know some places here in the U.S. it's $7-something a gallon. It's just under $4 here where we're at. But then again, we're in the middle of nowhere. Most people don't really want to live in the rural Midwest. We're here in Missouri, but I like it. I mean, that's where I was born. That's where I grew up. But even so, the $4 a gallon is pretty crazy for that, and that's just for regular. And And like you said, I can't afford to drive the car anywhere significant right now. If we take it out, we could take it out on maybe like get the fiance and take her out on date night or something. But we can't go very far. It's you know, it has to have at least 89 or 91 octane in it, and that stuff is way higher. The 87 right now is the $4 stuff, so I haven't even looked to see. What the higher quality stuff is. But when we tuned that car, we did tune it for 89 octane so we could road drive it. And I was daily driving it for a while. It's calm enough that I can daily drive it, but it's cammed up enough that it has enough low end torque that it's basically a race car at that point. It said it's not going to win any awards or anything like that, but it's still a track car. But there's something about those older engines, you know, you just when you fire it up and and the car's open header, it has exhaust but it has header cutouts in it. So it's open header, and it's just something about the way they sound, especially when they're cammed up. It's there's nothing else like it. Hey, look, there's an herb inside that tree. This little thing was hiding from me. Maybe one of these days I'll upload the tuning videos, or I'll make a new video of the car. I have the original videos somewhere from whenever we rebuilt it and the first time we started it. Maybe I'll upload those. That guy's trying to get somebody to come out to the desert and find and kill them. See, I wouldn't fall for that stuff because it's like, you say that, that guy down there in the chat, the Soja person, they say that, but they can just never be in the desert, and people will be out there running all over the place and never find them. That's kind of a waste of time. Oh boy, we're already getting close up to half weight on these. I don't even know. I guess it's these scarabs or these Kermes things. I call them scarabs. That's what they look like, scarabs. That weigh so much. We might have to trash a few of those. They're not worth that much silver. 15,000. I don't really care. The gathering experience is a whole lot more important to me than the little trade items. I hear my cat calling in the background. I don't know if the mic is picking it up. Probably not, but she just... So, we have 2 dogs and we have 2 cats, and where we're staying at right now, we're staying with family, and they also have a cat. And so, the 2 cats don't get along with the family cat. The family's cat. Yeah, he's a male, he's neutered, but my 2 cats are females, and I told them that my cat's mean. Like, she's very temperamental. She's a Siamese. And she looks every bit of one of your stereotypical Siamese. She's very vocal. She's very smart, too. And she has an attitude. And she doesn't take anything off of anybody. So he messes with her. And he tries to poke at her. And then she chases him down and lets him have it, is what happens. But I can hear her up there now just walking around and calling. She just cat calls at night. It's weird. But earlier, before I got up and after we got back from the farm, I was kind of sitting back, just watching a movie, just kind of hanging out. fiance had left and went to work, so I was just chilling and watching a movie, letting the dogs rest after they ran all afternoon. And she came up there and she laid with me, which I'm surprised because she doesn't. She's very standoffish. Don't touch me, I'll bite, kind of cat. But she did. She came and hung out with me for a while. They're not gonna know what to make of our new place when we move. Which I have a new office in that place. Hey, look, a cat first. I have a new office in our new place that we're moving to. I had in the old place. I had an office, but when it burned, I lost most everything. We were sitting in our living room watching TV, and it was storming outside. It wasn't storming too bad, but it was bad enough that it was lightning. Lightning hit our chimney. It was an old house built in the 1920s. I hated to see it burn, but we were sitting there, and lightning came down the chimney and caught everything on fire. I mean, it sounded like a bomb going off. It was pretty bad, but we got all the animals and everything out and got out of there, and then just stood outside and watched all their stuff burn in the rain. They worked and worked, tried to put it out, but it was too late by that time. And they were like a minute. The fire department was like a minute up the road, but it was an old house, and that old wood, it burns very, very quickly. But so we moved down here and we've been staying with family, and this happened last May. We've been bounced around for almost a year now, trying to figure all this stuff out, coming and going to work, dealing with having really no place. The fun part was during the summer, last summer, we stayed in a 20-foot travel trailer for a month and a half with 2 dogs and 2 cats. Yeah, that was fun. I don't ever want to have to do that again. Luckily, we were on the farm, so we could go and use like facilities and everything, shower, bathroom, that kind of stuff, at my grandma's house where she's at on the farm. But it was still, kind of just a mess. Alright, these here. Anyway, I did have an office in the old house. That's what got me into that story to begin with, and it wasn't set up very well, like I wanted it. I started recording some of my early videos there. Hey, look, another breeze petal. But I didn't have the space set up like I wanted to. But this new one, before I would let us move in, I've renoed everything. So I have a brand new office. And we opted for, instead of building materials are so bad right now, we looked at building. Just outright building a new stick home, but you don't want to do that right now. Not with how prices are. It's absolutely insane how much everything costs. So we ended up opting for just to get moved back into our own place and opted to be out at our farm, which I plan on making some videos outside of game, all that stuff, because I like to do video in real life. I like to run a farm, and I like to do a lot of these things that we call life skills outside of game. So I may make videos on that. But we opted for just, I knew somebody that I went to high school with in the area. They had a single wide that was in fairly decent shape. It's a full size one, so it wasn't like living in a travel trailer. It's 3 bedroom, 2 baths. So I just was like, let's just pay cash for that. put it out there, and it'll be a lot cheaper, and I can reno the whole inside of it so it doesn't even look like a trailer. New floors, new paint everywhere, trim, changing the kitchen all around. But so we did all that, and so it looks good, and we're gonna get moved in there. But I got to actually rent on my office, so now I have full. We got a hold of one of the desktops that were basically in one of the colleges around here, because a lot of times they'll strip that stuff out and then they sell it. Well, we got a hold of one of those, so I'm using that now for a desk, and it takes up one whole wall, so I got plenty of space to do stuff. You know, I like to work on electronics too, so I got space to do that now finally. So we're in a whole lot better shape than we were, even though we were in the other house, because now we're out from underneath the mortgage too. Which, with how things have been going the last couple of years, we weren't even sure that we were going to be able to cover the mortgage with just how fast people were being put out of work. But all that story leads me to the fact that now, once we get moved and settled and everything, I will have space to actually live stream and possibly do that, and it's going to be a lot easier to make these videos and stuff. However, we're still waiting on that internet company. But brother-in-law works for him, so we're putting pressure on him. He's trying to see if they can bump us up in the list, which would be good. So that may be a thing in the future. So there we are. We're over the weight limit, and with that feathery steps, I'm not even feeling it. Not slowing down any bit at all. Yeah, 22%, not too bad. We gained 13% in 28 minutes. That's not bad at all. I wonder how long this life skill XP buff is going to go on. If I had it my way, I'd just leave it on permanently. I think the XP curve for the gathering is way too steep anyway. You know, it's not hard to get to Artisan or whatever. Maybe even... There's a game crash out of nowhere for no reason. Hold on, I gotta type. I don't know why Black Desert does that. It'll randomly crash without warning. And there's no error report, nothing, and the game just shuts off. Wonder if it has something to do with the memory. Here we go. I used to play on Medea all the time, but then I started playing on Serendia. I'm also looking for a new guild. These people in Celestial are just non-existent. I never see them online. There's one guy. But As you can tell, nothing. There's never any. There's never any traffic in my guild. Like, it's basically an AFK life skill guild, which is why I took it, because I wanted the extra like gathering and fishing buffs. But I guess it doesn't really matter. Now that'll reset my RNG probably, getting crashed like that. I would just pick a random guild off of the world chat, but I'm not into things that are required, so as soon as I see Discord required, might not, I'm like, not joining their guild. You start giving me stuff to do, it starts feeling like a job. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't mind showing up to, Node Wars and learning PvP, which I haven't really done much PvP in this game. I just pretty much AFK life skill. But I don't mind going to events, I don't mind doing all that stuff, but as soon as you tell me I have to, it's not fun. It's not a game anymore at that point. Well, we need you here at 2 p.m. No, it's not going to happen. I got so much other stuff going on. Having a set schedule for gaming does not work for me. It's the only reason I can make these videos now is because I left where I was working because I didn't want to do it anymore. I mean, I was an application developer, which none of that goes away. I can still freelance or contract, consult, whatever you want to call it. I have a comp sci degree. It's not like I'm useless in that way. I mean, I was good at what I did, but I wanted to I wanted to use the opportunity that we had with. We basically got the opportunity to start over. You know, with our house burned, we had it very well insured, so we got everything we ever put into it back. So we had an opportunity to move where we wanted, and I left to get that all done and start running our farm while my fiance works for nights that she likes to do, which she makes a lot of money too. So, but now I'm doing everything except for going to a steady job every day. Now, I'm literally doing everything else. So I have time when she's gone at work. I'm nocturnal anyway, which is one of the reasons why I left that application developer job. I hated the schedule. Once she started on nights, I never saw her. So I'm like, no, this ain't working for me anymore. I did it for a few months, and I asked them to work with me and change schedule, and they told me no. So I told them, fine, I'm leaving. So now I'm here because I've always wanted to do this. I mean, I like being entertaining, and I always like the idea of, a lot of people, they put face cams up, which I'm not exactly against that, but whether or not it's true for me, I've been told by multiple people. And before I was an application developer, this is kind of background on this story. I used to run help desk in the tech industry, so I would talk to a lot of people. And I've been told numerous times that I should do radio, got a voice for radio, should go and do it. So I'm like, well, that gives me an idea. Making these videos, I got a fairly decent mic. I can talk, ramble on. And if my voice is good enough, fine, great, fantastic. But if it really is radio, I have this vision of old time radio, and I think face cams take away from that. Not necessarily that I'm hiding from the camera or anything, but I really do think it takes away from just voice and whatever you're doing. Because if you're on there with the cam and stuff, it's like people are watching you more than what you're doing or listening, which that's good too in its own thing. But then it's more like a Good Morning America or Today Show, or any other podcast, visual podcast, you know, and it's not so much radio. But I always thought that idea of radio was cool. You're broadcasting, and maybe somebody's listening, maybe no one's listening, but you're broadcasting, you're putting everything out there, and you could be doing great, or you could be not doing so great. And then, you always have the segment of like, well, gotta pay the bills. Well, my stuff's not gonna be running ads for a long time, I'm sure, but when I get to that point, maybe we'll do a gotta pay the bills, type thing. Do an ad break. But I always leading into that, always thought the old time theater was pretty cool. And I say old time. We don't go to movie theaters much anymore, but even before modern movie theaters, they would do a show. Not that long ago, 40, 50 years ago. You'd have a show or a double feature, or halfway through the show they would pause it and there'd be an intermission before they continued on. And I always thought that idea was just the coolest. So I always thought about doing that in my videos of pausing halfway through and say, all right, intermission time. We gotta get back to the horse. We're way overweight. I'm at 2,500. Yeah, we hit that limit. Okay. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna find the heaviest thing here. Most of this stuff is 0.10. Okay, well, here's what we're gonna do. Goodbye, all of these. I know it's probably several million silver, but that got rid of 400 weight, 600 weight. We may be to a point where I'm overweight and I can't do this anymore. That ain't much. Can we dump one of these in here? Oh, that's because we're already massively overweight. Alright, what's the biggest stack that we got? This. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to dump as many of these. Wait, get that out of there. Put that in there. And then this one. The way these horses work is you can stack it over its weight, but you can't keep stacking. So if you fill it up and get it right on that limit and then dump whatever it is, it can go overweight. Alright, back together. At least for a little while, anyway. And back to talking about old-time movie theaters. Now, I always thought that was cool. You go out to a show, and maybe I'm just simple, but that was always, I always thought that was really good entertainment. You go out to a movie, get a few snacks, and that was it. I never really enjoyed going out to eat much. My idea of going out to eat is like, I always thought Sonic was like the perfect place to eat. Because you could go and you park in your car and you don't have to like you're out but you're not, You order and they bring it to you and you can sit. You don't have to deal with like all the bad things of going out to eat, You don't have to touch all the nasty tables and that kind of stuff. But the movie theater, I mean, it was always a different experience. And I never liked going to just see any random ass movie. I always, anytime we went, it would always have to be something fantastic, like over the top, you know, fantasy movie like Avatar or like one of the Marvel movies or something. Something with a lot of special effects and just big sound, you know, something like that. I wouldn't go and see like a comedy movie like Knocked Up or anything in the movie theaters back whenever I was in college. I wouldn't do it. But nevertheless, I always thought it was awesome to like, man, they don't do that in the they don't do that in the modern movie theaters. You know, they don't stop the movie. You don't get an intermission. At least not the ones I've been to. However, the few drive-ins that are left in the country, there's one near here that that we could go to, and they'll do that. You know, they'll have like a double feature, and I'm sure they do an intermission in between. I always thought that was cool. But yes, that's why my videos are structured the way they are. The whole radio background, you know, and they could just be being nice and everything, and I could just be full of it. All right, repair equipped. We already ran through durability, and that thing's on 50% reduced durability because we branded it the other day. We're getting close to running out of energy, yeah, but it's taking almost an hour. This video's at 41 minutes. I haven't even been watching my energy. I'm down to 133. There's another shark. This has been pretty profitable. 4 sharps, 3 hards, a couple of Kafirs, 25 dust, which means it's another 5 Kafirs. That's pretty good. Granted, you can make more money gathering elsewhere. Herb gathering is not profitable at all. I mean, I guess it is a little bit, but if you're looking for profit, it's definitely not where you want to be. The reason we use it for leveling up gathering is because the more of these boxes that are filled when you gather, the more XP you get per gather. That's why gathering herbs works so well, because there's so many different types that bust whenever you do it. And you could try and do it barehanded, but you mostly just get weeds, which if you're looking for a way to level alchemy, I would come down here and do that. Don't use anything but barehanded and just do this same rotation, and you'll get thousands and thousands of weeds, which is very good for leveling up alchemy, making clear liquid reagents. That's what I use them for. But you'll also need the silver azaleas and sunrise herbs too, which we have a lot of. Plus there's nodes. I have my workers gathering a couple, and the reason I have it is because I want to level alchemy, and I don't want to invest a huge amount into alchemy, so I got the stuff to make the alchemy tools, and I usually buy weeds off the central market. But if I need to gather them, I can. I always just figured that with my mastery and gathering high enough, it's more profitable for me to buy the weeds off the market. And quicker too. I believe I'm going to go to the end of this duration on this lifestone, which is another 3 minutes, and then I'm probably going to end this off. I'm not gonna do a full hour. I still gotta get this like uploaded and everything. So I would like to get one more recorded before the night is over. So I may end up doing that too. We'll see where we're at the end of 3 minutes. This is the reason I haven't went hard into gathering yet. Anyway, making these videos is kind of forcing me to. It's like counteracting my procrastination. But I don't want to feel like I'm forced to have to come here and gather. That's why I don't have the Kama Silva blessings and stuff on. But if I have one of those on, I'm getting energy recovery, which means my energy is refilling about once every 2 or 3 hours, like the full bar. Then I feel like, well, I'm wasting the scroll or the Kama Silva blessing if I'm not just out there gathering and using my energy. And so I just kind of, it drives my anxiety nuts. Hey look, a massive pure magic. I have my workers gathering those things. These massive pure magics, you combine them with, you gotta combine them with the hards and the sharps, I believe. And then you'll get flawless stones, which is what you need to upgrade the Black Star weapons. I ran through a bunch of them whenever I was doing it. Like 40 or 50 of them, I think. Which is fairly lucky to get the Tet on that. One of these days I need to push for the pen, but I don't think I'm rich enough for that in game. Those guys, like the big streamers like Biohack TV and the EU guy, Mr. Rapolis, and then there's Biceptimus Prime. Those guys, they are rich and they're high gear score too. But I think they play pretty much all the time. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of streams. So I'm not really sure their play times. This actually works out well because I don't want to use any energy potions right now. And I would like to save a little bit of energy. So the fact that we're down to like 70 something and this spirit stone's about to run out, that's a good thing. But yeah, I don't know how those guys managed to upgrade to get pen webs. I see a lot of people flaunting them around, but it's like either they got really, really, really lucky or else they just grind a lot and they're very, very rich in game. But my concept is one of these days maybe I'll make one. Black Star. 93 billion. Yeah, I mean, back whenever I had this was worth like 14 billion, not 9. And I got lucky and made it. I was like, well, there's a big increase. But you know, that's been a year and a half ago. Alright, we're gonna gather back to the horse and then I'm done. Hope you have enjoyed my random rambling and life updates. Eventually, I am going to incorporate more stuff into this channel. I like Black Desert and game content, but I have a whole list of Steam games that I'm going to play through. RPGs or scary games, all kinds of stuff. I mean, I like all types of games. and I'm going to play through those, probably make different series on them. That doesn't mean Black Desert's going to go away, but it might have to if the cell phone hotspot won't support it until we get the fiber ran out there. But we will see. I'll give it a shot. If not, then we will be playing some offline games, and I'll be traveling. I get them all uploaded, and I will be traveling to upload them so that way they'll be here. But and I'd also like to incorporate like stuff on our farm, you know, fitness stuff. I want to get back into fitness. I've fallen off hard with everything that's happened to us in the last year, but it doesn't matter how far you fall, you can always climb back up. Now, whenever you get like this, your horse is going to be overweight. You don't want that. So you just pull everything back onto you. You're going to be slower and shit. But if you get on the horse, you won't be movement restricted. The horse won't. So you just ride your horse wherever you got to go. That's how I overstack my horse. And anytime you're overstacking, so if you have something on the horse, I had all those silver azaleas on there or sunrise herbs, and I had another like, what, 1,500 or so. I pull them back on here, and then you can fully stack it back on your horse. So your horse can stack infinitely. You can't add to it, but if you pull it all off, it'll combine the stacks, and you can put it back on. That's how most people are doing their grinding. So there's that little tip, and I may make it short about that. A lot of people aren't going to watch this all the way. They won't see it. But if you did watch it all the way, thanks for spending your hour of your time with me. We're all pretty limited on time. You know, doesn't matter. Some of us have more time than others, but we all have a set amount, and it's pretty special that you choose to sit and watch my stuff. So thank you. Hit like, subscribe, leave me a comment. If you want to see something, let me know. But as always, until next time.